Welcome to Let's Talk About That, the show about the show. I'm Stevie, and this is why we can't have nice things. This week's guests were just sitting in a tree, PLATONICALLY. Please welcome Rhett and Link.
Right here.
This seems like a dangerous choice. No.
All right.
Hey!
You made it, right?
You made it. That's my worst. My biggest bruises are due to coffee table specific run-ins.
Pin the tail on the donkey?
Yes, because whenever I enter a living room or a set that looks like a living room, I spin around in circles with my eyes closed, and then I walk, and so that winds up happening.
Highly recommended.
Boy, what a week on LTAT this week. Let me tell you what we have coming up.
What a week on this week.
That's what I said. Do you guys remember getting an invite to NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston?
Do we? Yes.
Well, if you don't remember what you just said, you did, but that was
we
my
accept
segue. We documented it, so you can watch yourselves again, and you can watch not yourselves for the first time.
I've been waiting for this. I remember when we were there, we were being filmed. And I was like,
This is going to show up
this
somewhere.
is going to be cool to watch this back one day.
Well, also we have the finished Curious Worlds project, which is the first ever Mythical Society Grant recipient's awesome final project presentation. We're gonna reveal that. And also we have a BTS clip of when Rhett said monkey fighting from earlier this Monday to Friday week. So we're gonna see that too.
I remember that.
But first, it's time to eat. Earlier this week, we did Find the Name Brand Chips Edition. One of those little rounds was about tortilla chips, but all of today's little rounds are about tortilla chips because I thought, why not compare the top tortilla chip brands you can buy at the grocery store so that the people out there can know which chip they need to buy.
It is an important duty we have.
So let's bring the chips on by.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
What do we have here?
So these are the top 4 chip brands. We got
Like top
Mission.
selling?
Yeah, the top selling, but also like the top ones that you see most regularly.
Mission restaurant style thin and crispy.
Late July.
Late July.
Sea salt thin and crispy.
Tostitos.
Tostitos.
Been there.
And Santitas.
Sandita.
Now-
Where do we want to start?
Have we not? We haven't tasted chips before in this manner?
Never tasted chips.
I thought that we.
I've never had a chip.
I remember us
why I'm so
arguing
excited about
about
this.
which chip was the best.
That was when you were in your arguing stage, which you're past now.
Santitas.
I don't know. We've done so many
I haven't heard of
episodes.
Santitas.
Sure, we've done this before. We're going to do
But
it
like-
again, 2019 edition.
But I remember having a conversation about the logo for Tostitos is 2 people holding in one chip.
I think maybe we did salsa.
I think whatever we
did
did.
sauce.
Take a thin and crispy restaurant style chip from Mission.
Now, Mission and
Mission
Late
has the
July.
best bag.
They've got some curly ones.
Well, okay. I was just about to say their bags are pretty similar, but you are a pink man.
Mission's better.
You were saying that
Smells good.
before you're even. No! Why is my strength failing me on camera in front of all these people?
You need help with that?
No! I'm an independent woman! Thank you.
Oh.
Well,
Wow.
the bag,
All the
Really
way down.
outdid
the
yourself.
bag was difficult to open.
Thank you, Rhett.
Don't forget the salsa.
Oh, Chase. You're correct. There is salsa.
Who needs salsa, Chase?
We
We all
decided
do.
to go with a generic salsa because not every chip brand had its own salsa pairing, and I was like, that's not fair.
Well, so first of all, the Mission, very coiny, very coiny,
Very pointy.
corny.
You want one of them?
I'm sorry, I'm touching the other half and then putting it back in. Yep.
Want some Late July?
Thank you.
This is the bag you couldn't get into.
Now, so the Mission chip's called thin and crispy. Thips.
That Mission
Yeah,
shit.
dog.
I'll tell you right now.
They're not as thin as I would have thought they would have been if they're called thin. The ones at Chili's, The chips at Chili's are the thinnest chips I've ever had anywhere.
You can't sell them that thin.
Can't sell them.
They'll break.
They'll break.
You can only get those at a restaurant.
These are a little stale.
I prefer the Mission because
I think I do too, but I gotta verify.
They have more salt.
really, I was thinking the Late July have more salt, like a almost like slightly artificial level of like, I don't know.
I prefer early August.
But seriously, we need to make a decision.
That's my favorite brand of chips. Close competitor with Late July.
I agree,
saying
Stevie,
Mission?
that Mission is better.
Okay. He's acting like this is a comedy show, but we're doing this for real.
Mission is better.
Okay.
I agree. So Mission stays in the lead. Now
Ready for this again?
You're right about those.
I predict that Tostitos is going to win.
Those thin chips that you get, they look like they've just been pulled out of oil.
Yeah.
They're less corny and more floury. I think it's a flour tortilla at Chili's. I don't know. Am I wrong or right about that? Am I right or am I right?
What are you asking? If it's a flour?
Is it a flour tortilla that they make into a chip
Now,
at Chili's?
if you smell these, they don't smell corny at all. They smell.
I keep almost dipping it into my water.
They almost have like a cardboard, but I kind of like it.
They are the thinnest chip. I will say that.
But not so thin that they break.
I'm really into these overall of the sampling group that we have
These
currently.
are very good.
It's very mainstream of me, but
That's a good chip.
I'm just being honest.
They're very basic.
It's very basic of me.
Without going back to the Mission, I think that they're equal. If not, the Tostitos is a little better.
Okay, so we're kicking Late July out.
Kicking it
Can
out.
I say, look at the branding too. Like, they looked at the other chips and they were like, what colors did the other chips choose that we can get ourselves away from? And then they all chose their little individual colors.
I think Tostitos are better than Mission.
I think so too. Wow, look at me. I'm so strong.
The Mission smells better.
It's not about the smell. Don't judge a chip by its smell.
The smell is not my
It smells
favorite.
like old Play-Doh.
Wow, that's not good.
Can you huff chips? I mean, you can. I'm doing it right now.
These are the crunchiest ones.
It smells like Santitas. That's their slogan.
Whoa. These have the most different taste out of all of them.
Different in what way?
Well, very Santita.
It tastes like tortillas triangulares.
They are the strongest chips.
They have the corniest taste.
I like the logo though.
I don't mind
like
the
that.
strong
I like-
corn.
I like a woman with a basket of corn. I've always said that.
I
Okay.
like a basket, period.
What are we?
That's what I want my wife to be for Halloween, is a woman with a basket of corn.
Okay.
Sexist undertones. Well, I don't know how, but probably.
How is a basket of corn? I mean, I'll carry it too.
Basket of laundry,
You know
basket
what?
of corn.
I'll be the man with the basket of corn. She'll be the woman with the basket of corn. We'll pass it back and forth, and then
you can
give
pretend
the corn out,
like
and then we'll
there's
take food.
some kind of clever reason that you are those things, so then everyone else feels stupid and like your costume's actually really the best.
On second thought, I probably won't do that.
Okay.
You're not even going to be together for Halloween.
I'm gonna be a Tostito,
You're going to be with me in Texas for Halloween, man.
and I'm gonna be
That's a
dressed as a
weird
Tostito.
Tostitos are the best, in my opinion.
I can get down with that. I will say that they're better than these two, and if you're looking for something a little cornier, my vote would be Santitas. But Tostitos, you're dipping and dipping and dipping.
There's a reason these are the best-selling brand, because they're the best tortilla chip.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor, but hey, listen. I mean, you can be.
Hey, you know who eats so many tortilla chips?
Rhett,
Close.
Astronauts.
Segue.
Too early?
No.
Too early?
Samuel
People in-
Jackson,
People in Texas.
Texans.
And you know what's in Texas? Houston. And you know what's there?
The Johnson
NASA.
Space Center.
Yeah. So we got an email inviting you guys to tour the Space Center. You got really excited. But then we got another email inviting you to go eat food at the food lab. You got really excited. So we called up our good friend John, and he agreed to accompany you into the Space Center. And this is what happened.
Hey, we're in front of a really big rocket because we're in NASA territory.
At the Johnson Space Center, we're gonna take a little tour, and then we're going to try some space food.
Yes. Look at this, man. I feel like I'm already in space.
We're going into the nose of the shuttle, otherwise known as the shuttle nose.
This is a trainer shuttle. It's actual size. It will not fly. That's the only reason they're letting me in it.
If you get fast enough, it'll probably lift off a little bit. That's a true astronaut. Okay, where do I put my feet? This is like a redneck centaur, man. It's an ATV on the bottom and a man on top.
Redneck centaur.
This is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Here, can I get that joke for the edit? Hey,
This is like a redneck
this is like
centaur.
a redneck centaur.
We're in mission control. And you know what?
This is where they communicate with the International Space Station.
We're actually communicating with everyone mentally through our presence in there. I'm manipulating all those people with my mind.
How are you doing? Hi, I'm Ryan.
Hey, Ryan. How are you,
Ryan. I'm Mike.
Nice to meet y'all. I'm the International Space Station Food System Manager. So I work on the team that puts all of NASA's food on the International Space Station. You're going to try food that no one else on Earth has tried. It's going to be phenomenal.
Everywhere for the freaking astronaut food. We finally found it.
So you're saying like the space ice cream that you get at the grocery store, that's not legit?
That's a government secret? Yeah, so tasting food is a huge issue in space. We send up salt and pepper in liquid form so that there's not powder flying around station that can get in your eyes or into the vents of station.
Salt and pepper. Liquid.
We send up freeze-dried food items. Feel how lightweight these are.
Oh, wow.
So this food starts out at around 90% moisture content, and after we freeze-dry it, it goes down to less than 3% moisture. This gives it about a 3-year shelf life, and it makes sure that no bacteria can grow to make Matt sick while he's on station. Our first course today is shrimp cocktail.
I'm gonna take 2.
Is my fork? I can't even get my.
He can't get his
It's an optical illusion. This. I really can't get my fork in there. It's like I failed the first test of astronautdom. I got 3.
It's good. Good for you. You dink it?
Dink it.
Because none of us can have colds because we're in space and we got rid of that.
And sink it. Ooh, that's chili.
The texture, you know that you're not eating a fresh shrimp. I'll say that right off the bat. But
It's a little chewy.
But you know what? Flavor profile.
Oh, we got another one? Is intact.
Yeah, not bad for being produced more than a year ago now.
Huh. It's a year-old shrimp? Mm-hmm. That's a pleasant thought. On the 9-point hedonic scale, I'm going to give that shrimp a solid 5.5.
And that's on a scale where 9 would be like
Tasty.
the best shrimp that you've ever
Right.
had.
Yeah, and if it's less than a 6, it doesn't go into space. So
Well, I'll give it. What do you give it?
6.
What do you give it? Absolutely a 9. Right. You've been fully indoctrinated. I'm trained.
I got this right here.
our next course is
Too friendly.
barbecue brisket and macaroni and cheese.
Whoa, hey, look at us, Texas.
I'm gonna try a little bit of this brisket here, and then brisket. Again, we're not here. We're in the International Space Station.
Our noses are completely clogged.
Ooh, mac and cheese is good.
The brisket's an hedonic 9.
I'm going with an 8 on the brisket. It's pretty good. I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine what I would give a 9.
Glad you like it. So we'll put that in your crew-specific menu container, which means you have extra of that while you're on station.
I'm too tall to go into space, so you just made me feel bad about myself.
I'm gonna give the brisket a solid 7. The mac and cheese an 8. You gave it a 9. You gave the brisket a 9.
It's all 9s.
It's all 9. Right.
Our last course is dessert. This is one of the Space Food Systems Laboratory specialties, crayon apple dessert.
I'm doing one of these. Look at that. I call this the knife push. I'll give you a nice.
Oh, full service. Thank you, sir.
That's a lot.
What am I gonna have? I've got high hopes for this
Now
one.
let's not burn our tongues.
It's not that hot. I don't know why you had so much trouble with it.
Okay.
This is the most non-space food that we've had. You know what I'm saying? Like if you gave me this, it'd be like I might be at Cracker Barrel right now.
Wow. That's pretty decadent.
That's a solid 9. I mean, you could just fill my bob up with that.
Yeah, man. That's a 9. That is off the charts good.
It's pretty good.
I know you're gonna say 9. You rated
course.
everything a 9.
Of course, it's a 9.
When you're in space, astronaut Matt, and you're doing your thing, and you're looking out the window at the pale blue dot that is Earth, and you're having a perspective that we could never have. Would you think of us? Dedicate a moment to us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Now we don't
Thank
have
you.
to go.
Right. Glad we got out of that. Wow.
So heartwarming.
I got weird at the end.
Now, I gotta say a couple of things. I talked about things that we had been talking about, but now there's no context.
Like your
for
nose is clogged and there's a bob.
We found out.
But it just seemed like you knew all those things.
We found out that as soon as you go into space, your nasal passages completely clog. Everyone's, because of the way the fluids in your body are redistributed because gravity is no longer in effect.
And then do they unclog?
They do not. They stay like you have a cold where you cannot breathe through your nose the entire time you're in space. And so that's why they like their food to be spicy, and they have a bunch of hot sauce and stuff so they can actually taste their food.
And then
it sounds miserable.
The thing about getting sick, like you said, since none of us are sick.
Yeah, so they go through like a quarantine process for an extended period of time so that no one has any viruses that then will be spread once you go up there.
That makes sense.
Because they've learned all this through trial and error. Like some astronauts got colds on top of the crazy nasal thing that's already happening, and it can actually be dangerous. You're up there and you've got all this snot that doesn't drain out like normal. It just kind of sticks in your head. You don't want a cold in space.
And your head gets bigger.
Can you explain the bathroom situation? Like, what was happening?
That's easy. They suck it right out of you.
No, I'm saying, like,
doesn't
where
close.
did your...
The door,
Oh.
we realized later that the door doesn't close. It's open, but there's a curtain that I think maybe the curtain had been taken out of this particular training thing. There's a curtain that goes out there, and you sit on
I
this
didn't know
toilet
if, like,
that sucks your
heels
stuff
were,
right
like,
out.
by your butt cheeks or something. It was
Squatty
like,
I would have had it
yeah.
got, I mean, no, so it just doesn't close.
Luxurious. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it seemed like you guys learned a lot.
So
and
many
ate some
buttons.
okay food. Some good space food because we can't find any. So that was the takeaway from that whole
It's
trip.
basically just a bunch of
And
freeze
we
dried
had a
food.
whole air biscuit where we talked about our trip to the Space Center too. So
If you want to hear more,
Go to Ear Biscuits.
go to Ear
Go to
Biscuits.
Ear Biscuits.
Don't
We'll
go to
throw up a
space.
lower
run to
third.
Ear
Just
Biscuits.
go to Ear Biscuits.
Okay, so earlier this week we did a new series called Multiverse Munchies, which is quickly becoming one of my favorites. I just did this with my hand and it felt very theatrical.
Yeah, I like that.
And there was a misunderstanding that led to an accidental F-bomb or two.
So it just starts bad and ends bad.
It's kind of like cows on a plane. It's just like nothing changes. As far as the eye can see, there's no hope for this getting
cows
better
on a plane.
or worse.
Plain.
Not snakes
I
on
was
a...
like, hold on.
You know, like snakes.
Somebody call Samuel L. Jackson. Who put these monkey fighting cows on this Monday to Friday plane?
So before we forget, let's get Rhett to do the overdub, just like the famous
And what does he say? Monday, Friday?
Monday to Friday.
I think he just says Monday, Friday. Or does he say Monday to Friday?
There's another part too. The first is something different, and then this Monday to Friday plane.
Monkey fighting and Monday to Friday? And I said, what I said, who put these? Is that what I said? You're just gonna take the monkey fried, what? Monkey fighting. Okay, here we go. Who put these? Who put these monkey fighting cows on this Monday to Friday plane?
Just give them a few, just monkey fighting and Monday to Friday.
Monkey fighting! Monkey fighting! Monkey fighting! Monday to Friday! Monday to Friday! Monday to Friday!
You're yelling. I think you're yelling a whole lot more, which would be funny.
Yeah, because
I don't know if it's funniest to do like an underwhelm. Man, he nailed it. Do some more here.
Yeah.
Your eyes were closed.
Monkey fighting! Monkey fighting! Monkey fighting! Monday to Friday! Monday to Friday! Monday to Friday!
You got to give them options.
I hope this does not happen in like 30 years from now. It seemed like you were reenacting a scene perhaps from The Home.
I think that's what I want my career to be.
How long do I have to be here? Monday to Friday! Monday to Friday!
Because you have to go and you have to censor all these movies. Somebody has to figure this out and then impersonate Sam Jackson or whoever it is, because that's not Sam Jackson.
And some people are really good at it, and some people are not good at it, as I just demonstrated.
I don't know the answer to that. Is that true?
They don't call up Sam Jackson and say, "Hey, could you just please say monkey fighting?"
Or he's not doing it on set.
Ruining things for me.
Like Rhett did. It was like right after we're like, oh yeah, we got to censor that. Just Sam, can you come back on set and close your eyes and do about 20? You don't do that.
Well, now they probably do something like, you know how
Deep fake it.
Yeah, essentially, you take somebody's voice, and all of a sudden, like Alexa or a Google Home will have somebody's voice.
That seems like
John
too
Legend.
complicated.
No, John Legend is the voice at my house.
Oh, on Google Home.
On Google Home.
Really?
John Legend tells me the weather every morning.
Well, my.
And it sounds just like John Legend. So I think they can do that now. That's how they're gonna.
That's how they did that dub earlier for Snakes on a Plane. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
If you are a Mythical Society member, you should already know about the Mythical Creative Grant, which is intended to support creativity within our mythical community. Mm-hmm. Twice a year, Third Degree Society members have the opportunity to submit a creative project proposal of exceptional excellence, and then Rhett and Link choose one recipient to award $1,000 to begin working on their project. Over the course of 6 months, they will personally assist the winner with the constructive criticism and suggestions, and you know these guys like to talk, so somewhere in all that talk is some glimmer of guidance. And I'm telling you all this because one, our first ever Mythical Creative Grant recipient just finished her project with us, and two, the next Mythical Creative Grant is now open to Third Degree Mythical Society members through November 15th. And if you haven't been following Lauren LaRue at the Curious Worlds Project, I highly suggest it. And then here's pieces of her proposal, because I thought that this was amazing and I needed to read it word for word.
Yeah, this is what led us to award her the first one.
So she says, as a child, I spent countless hours poring over the pages of I Spy picture riddles, each image brimming with knickknacks and miscellany artfully, I don't know if I said that right, arranged into a fantastical scene. I probably should have read that word before this. No permission slip was needed to turn spare moments or whole afternoons into an expedition. Swimming through the images, uncovering their treasures, absorbing every detail of their seemingly boundless mysteries. As an adult, I find myself increasingly homesick for that adventure. A career in the arts satisfied that feeling, but it now looms since I settled into an office job. Of course, the stability of a 9-to-5 is a comfort, but over time, the fluorescent lighting and droning corporate jargon muffles the call of childlike wonderment. I mean, this is a project in itself. And it's a project for me to read right now. There is, however, a sparkling oasis in the dull sea of grown-upness. Every evening when we get home from work, my wife and I sit down to watch that day's Good Mythical Morning. The refreshing cocktail of comedy, cynicism, and absurdism takes me to a place that is very similar to those books in my childhood. I wondered if there was a way to create this feeling for myself. Combining this drive with my desire for impossible images and years of experience in theatrical design and production, I will create a series of 3 scenes to explore the little worlds we imagine in mundane places, or as I call them, the curious worlds.
Yes!
Worlds. And not everybody has to write that well. I mean, that was just an exceptional submission. You don't have to be that good of a writer. That wasn't exactly what we chose.
It wasn't.
It was the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The idea of expressing creativity, kind of a hearkening back, and channeling the the energy and the fun of what I called looking finds.
And it also seemed like something you could pull off for $1,000, and like it was a adequate budget to make something like that come together. You know, some people had ideas that I think it was like this would be a small fraction of what I would need to.
Yeah.
So we were trying to make something come to full fruition.
But it's also like just the perfect representation of what mythicality is, you know, like bringing back that feeling of curiosity and awe. And so this isn't her final project. So her main 2 worlds she named Jade and Barbara, and I'm going to reveal them in a second. And then this she actually gave you while you were on tour, so you could have a little bit of like the physical parts of the photos that we're going to see.
Yeah, there were so many knickknacks and accoutrements involved in each scene that she photographed, but she wanted to at least take some of that and put it in something that was shippable. And so even though she went above and beyond to create this suitcase shadow box for us, but it's nice to have not only the digital photos that we can all enjoy together, but to have this thing that I can, you can
carry around with you.
I can put in a special place.
Like if you just saw it from the outside and then you were to, I mean, it's like a movie. It's like, look at what's in my
Movie in a
suitcase. You know that movie where they open suitcases and stuff's in them? So this is a photo of Barbara.
And there it is.
And she put all of these different Easter eggs in, like tons of Easter eggs in here. So if you're a part of the society, you'll get to participate in kind of finding those out and being a part of that.
And she lists out what those are, so she gives you assignments on what you can find. So you're not just looking aimlessly. But there's a lot to take in, so it's really awesome.
And then here's Jade.
This is an underwater world utilizing a sink.
So cool. And again, on her Instagram, there's so many little pieces, like so many little miniatures and little scenes that kind of make up this exploration, and it's really cool. So I highly encourage you to go follow her on Instagram. And the Mythical Creative Grant is now open to 3rd degree Mythical Society members through November 15th. So go to mythicalsociety.com for rules and to apply, and you'll get these twos will be calling you up to talk about your project.
Yeah, thanks Lauren for doing such an excellent job on that and kind of setting the bar. Again, I don't think it wasn't something that was an impossible task, but it was something that she knew she could do, and she gave great reason behind it. And then we offered light advice because she really knew what she was doing. We offered some feedback and some guidance.
Not lighting advice, just light advice.
Definitely not lighting advice.
Recommend like a 3-point lighting, set up, Lauren.
More backlighting really is what you need to separate things from the background.
You act like those aren't things that you say, but that's fine.
Just fostering creativity.
Yeah, cool.
Let's do it. Submit your stuff.
And that's LTAT for today. So now our final line. Until next LTAT, keep on BYNB.